Thanks everybody for joining us today. I've got Kevin Wu from Jackson Ultima, and we're really excited to have him here to talk to you all about returning to the ice safely and talking about your equipment and the different considerations. So Kevin,
Love
take
it.
it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, and thank you everybody for watching. I know everyone's excited and anxious to get back on the ice. So what we wanted to put together is a quick little equipment checklist just to go through the basics of making sure your equipment is safe and ready to go to hop on to the ice. All
Okay.
right.
Ta-da!
Love it. So returning to the ice, here's your equipment checklist. So we'll start with boot sizing. It sounds super basic, but if you haven't tried on your skates at home, I highly recommend it. Everybody that is in a growing stage or age, you probably grew just a little bit these last couple months. So you're definitely going to want to make sure your skates fit before you go to the rink and try and hop on the ice. So the best, the best way to do it is to get with your skate tech. Many of the skate techs are now up and running and open, maybe in limited fashion or appointment only, but you can definitely set an appointment with Sandy and James in Anaheim, or going to Bruce in Westminster, or if you go to Skate Tech in San Diego, there's plenty of different options for you to get and make sure that your skates fit right. Go to the next slide. So you'll see there's a couple different ways to utilize getting your best fit. We are still working on some 3D foot scanning technology that you'll see soon from Jackson, but definitely work with your skate tech and getting your skates or your feet sized and getting into the right skates. Next slide. Okay, now boot checklist. So you've checked your skate size, you've put your foot in your skate probably at least once. There are a few things that you can do just to really make sure the boot fits like it used to. Go to the next. Heat molding is one of them. So most skates these days are heat moldable or shapeable at some point. You'll be able to get them remolded as boots are made with heat through the process of heat. If your skates aren't too old, you can have them reshaped, even simple ways like the cuff and like the ankle bones and things like that. The next slide shows that visual inspection you can do. So if you look at your boots from the top down at that cuff, you can see if it has that C shape to the side. That would be, how your ankle bone's shaped, so kind of rounded. If it's flat and flays outward, or if you lace them up and there's gaps in the lacing pattern, things like that, definitely visit and set an appointment with your skate tech to get your boots remolded. That way they're nice and snug to your foot and they fit the same as they did before. New laces. Boy, this one often gets overlooked, but laces are so important to your skates because those are what stiffen up the front, right? If you try to skate without laces, it's quite shaky. And that's what'll happen if you've been off the ice for a while and your laces have either hardened from the moisture, or they kind of shrivel up and round up and they're not applying even pressure anymore. Now it's just a great time to start fresh. Get a new pair of laces. It provides even pressure across your foot and it'll actually kind of re-stiffen and reinvigorate your boots. While you're at it too, make sure you grab a backup pair. You would hate to be at the rink about to hop on the ice and snap your lace, right? So it's always good to keep a backup pair in your bag. Blades. So probably one of the most important parts of your skates, right? There's not too much to it, but we do skate on this thin blade on the ice, and metal and moisture combined can be a little harsh and detrimental. So if you've left your blades in your skate guards inside of your bag this entire time, you probably need a skate sharpening of sorts. So the next slide will show you. First is to check the screws when you flip that skate over. Do you have all the screws in your boot? Are there any loose ones in there? It's easy to just take a Phillips screwdriver to your screws and check them all. If they're loose or they're spinning, get them replaced. I made a good note there. It's always good to just keep an extra screwdriver and maybe a couple spare screws in your bag. Again, you never know what's going to happen. So make sure you check out the bottom of the skate, not just the blade too. So going on to the next would be to look at the blades to check if there's any rust, if you have any dark spots. In the meantime, if you can't get to getting a skate sharpening, you can run a little WD-40 or some easy oil on the bottom. Just use a rag and try and wipe off some of the rust that may have accumulated on there. If they look good, you know, you never know. Sometimes the edges could be off or they got nicked as you were moving around. Just get a skate sharpening, just like the laces. It's just good to start fresh. Now's a great time to have a fresh start with everything. And now it's time to get back to skating. So with skating, when you get back on the ice, as a jet flies overhead, when you get back on the ice, you'll want to make sure you're taking it easy, that you're not, you know, jumping right away. Let your body adjust to skating again. Your feet, your knees, your hip, your back, everything is connected in this kinetic chain that you'll probably hear about with off-ice training. But take it easy, work on some basic skating elements first, and then start slowly transitioning back into your elements. Off-ice is just as important. It'll be a great transition into your Thursday conversation, but you'll want to develop a routine with your coaches to keep your body limber and to re-strengthen some muscles that you may or may not have lost, you know, through these last couple months off the ice. I know everyone's probably been doing as much as they can off the ice to keep those fast twitch muscles engaged and keeping your core tight and all that fun stuff, but will be good to plan your off ice, your on ice, and even your equipment with your coaches. You know, obviously the season is going to be a little different this year as we head into it. If you have any questions, feel free to send, you know, any of us a message, the Rinks Instagram, Jackson's Instagram, message us on here. We'll be happy to help you answer any equipment questions and get you back on the ice safely.
Great. Well, thank you. Oops, stop share. Thank you, Kevin. And that was great. And for any of you that are coming back to watch this, you know, again, we thank you for joining us. And we hope this gave you some additional insight and information as you plan to return to the ice. And like Kevin said, we also have another presentation on Thursday from with the athletic trainer certified, Chris Phillips, with our very own Mariah Bell, on talking about tips on making sure that your body's prepped and how to phase your progression as you return back and transition onto the ice. So thanks everybody, and stay safe.